the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me as Ixen on the internet, and as always, I am joined by
Rowan has been reading nothing but Leeks for the past 2 days.
And Sheldon, and I'm the same way. I think my brain's about fried from trying to figure everything out now.
Fantastic. You know why that's super good? Because this is going to be our spoiler leak episode. Presuming everything goes normally, we'll have this episode out Thursday, November 17th, 12 hours before the game comes out, thereabouts. So we'll be going over that all at the end of the episode, and by the end of the episode, I mean like in 10-15 minutes. We're gonna have a little bit of discussion before that, in just sort of hype and preparation and whatnot, for these new games. Then we'll make a very obvious, we're switching to spoiler territory, in case you still want to stay spoiler free for the 12 hours, which is fine. We totally respect that. But yeah, so we'll make that obvious when we get there. But before then, how are y'all doing?
Pretty much that. There's been like nothing else on my mind. That is a lie. It's been had a pretty fun weekend actually, but that's I cannot wait for these games.
Why did you have a fun weekend, Rowan?
I had a fun weekend because I had my 4th wedding anniversary.
Well, congratulations.
I was like, oh
Yes,
wait, I actually wasn't
congratulations.
thinking about Pokemon for most of this weekend.
It's good.
That's probably
You
a
deserve
good
a
thing.
break.
What about you, Sheldon? How's life been?
It's been pretty good. Been pretty good.
Weren't you? All right, we talked about this on the podcast before. You've been doing school stuff, right?
I have.
How is that going? You've not talked about that on the pod for like a couple months. We're bringing that up.
It's going good. It's keeping me busy. What little free time I have.
When I was doing grad school, the only reason I wanted to bring it up was to complain about it. So like, honestly, hats off.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
If it's not
And
bad.
my wife is going back for her master's now too, so she's going to be jumping into it.
Ooh, that's gonna be.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to me ever making that decision if I decide to do that. Tonight is my last day of being unemployed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I start my new job
Yeah.
tomorrow, which is super
You
exciting.
sure you want to do that?
I do like being paid, and my Twitch career has not taken off yet. So,
Not
Do what you
pulling
gotta
that sweet ad revenue yet.
not yet.
All right. Oh, I guess the other big thing for me is that I did manage to register for San Diego.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, got a hotel and flight, and this is the most money I've ever paid to play Pokemon, except for hopefully Worlds, but that one's a bit of a long shot. So
Gotta be
Yeah.
honest. That's why I'm skipping San Diego. As much as I want so bad to be at that first regionals.
well, it's looking like it might be the biggest regional ever,
It's
like
huge.
literally of all time.
We're past 600 people right now.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I didn't
I
see
know.
the numbers. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I want to say that the biggest regional there has ever been was like 600 some odd.
Yep.
And
I
they
think that's
haven't
true.
shut registration yet. I was like F5ing right when it opened to like thinking it was gonna be closed off like the 2022 ones were.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, it's still open. Like I could have taken my time, and you still can potentially when you listen to this podcast. Like
Well,
it's
that's
wild.
still-
They have a lot of room.
That's still many days away. To be fair.
Yeah, that is fair enough. But yeah, no, I mean it's just massive, and I assume TCG is even bigger. I'm pretty hyped for it.
Well, it's at the San Diego Convention Center, which is huge. I don't know how much of the hall they have, but I mean it's a pretty big hall. That
Gotcha.
convention center. So that's cool. You'll get to see that. That is a neat building. It's, where San Diego Comic-Con is held, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. So good luck. Go. If y'all listen to this and you're gonna go to San Diego, go find Rowan.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll come say hi for sure.
And then I think all 3 of us are gonna be at Orlando for the next one, and
Yeah, which will be in
early
February, right?
Yeah, a month
Yep.
later. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I want to say we even heard something about locals coming back too. I haven't I've only heard it secondhand, but
So I looked
yeah.
at that. I looked at it today, and I was really sad because all the locals in my area are only TCG.
mm,
Let me see. Play Pokemon. That's not how you spell Pokemon. But yeah, I looked real quick and I was kind of sad that there was nothing in my area for a VG, which probably means that I have to go start one.
Oh man, yeah, that's kind of how it is, right? You just
is this showing video game
So
local stuff yet?
I'm checking to see if I can find any video game anywhere. I don't. I mean, and nothing close to me at least.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of the guys in the Georgia like local scene have been going through the professor thing. I know you were looking at doing that too, right, Sheldon? Weren't both of you at one point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I stopped, but I got my VG one from like a year ago. I was gonna do TO, but never actually finished that. Yeah, I only see TCG, so that might just be me.
It might not, because they said it was going to be early 2023. They didn't give us any exact time frames or anything.
For when
Got
VG
it.
starts?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's
Yeah, that was what they said on the press release anyway.
Oh, I didn't read the press release. Okay, cool. So there is still hope for us yet. Yeah, everything in Florida is just TCG right now. So whatever. The other fun bit of Pokemon news that I have that y'all don't necessarily care about is the Splatoon 3 Splatfest with the Pokemon Splatfest whatever crossover thing finished a couple hours ago. We don't have results yet. I'm really upset.
Oh, we don't even know what like random color, what starter color won.
I don't know. I was playing for Team Red for my boy Fuecoco, despite normally picking water starters. And I don't know. I was playing games the last hour of the Splatfest. We were doing great. I don't think I lost a game. Maybe lost one match. In today. So maybe. But Blue was winning at halftime, so that's upsetting.
Well, on that note, on the note of Fuecoco and the other starters, do we want to just jump right into these? Start with the starters, maybe even?
Well, hold up. First things first, we'll give out, for those of you who don't want to continue into the spoiler 7/8 of this episode, any news, right? So I know, Sheldon, you have some streaming plans for this weekend.
Yes, be hopefully, tentatively, starting at midnight. I'll be playing a game at midnight. I'll hop on stream.
If you don't stream this game in the first 3 days of it being out, I will judge you so hard.
Oh, please do. No, I'll be streaming. We'll be rushing through. I don't know if I'm going to do my super kind of rush through it playthrough on stream or not, but I'll figure that out as I go.
Fair.
You're just gonna like no dialogue, mash A, get to the end.
Oh yeah,
just no story, just go. So you're streaming at midnight?
Yes, that's when it should be available, right? Midnight.
I think it's midnight our time. I think it comes for the U.S. territories. I think it's
hopefully it's Eastern. If it's midnight West Coast, then
rarely is, because West Coast normally likes to get the 9 p.m. and I'm very, very envious of that.
I'm sorry, y'all. I will not be streaming or recording any of my first playthrough. I'm going to glue my entire body to the couch and get up for delivery and the bathroom for like 12 to 24 hours and see what happens about that.
I'm gonna do the exact opposite. I will be streaming, presuming that I can't get off work Friday, like I really want to. I'll be streaming after work Friday, throughout the evening, and then most of Saturday and most of Sunday. Streaming my playthrough, not going slow, but not necessarily rushing, and then all that will be on YouTube later too. So
nice.
That's my plan. We'll see if I can stick to it. All right, cool. That's all that.
We need to have like a first weekend like tournament. Like first weekend, like whatever you get in the first weekend.
Team? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll...
You bring your playthrough team, like wherever you got.
Well, it looks like there's like, so the exclusives looked like they were really favoring Scarlet. I think they still are, but I just found out Violet gets Dragapult as an exclusive, so that is public knowledge, not a leak.
Yes, I think that's true.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was an exclusive.
I was like panicking for a moment, like, wait a second, no, not yet.
they've shown exclusives. So yeah, that could be something. It could be balanced. Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And then we should do if maybe we can drag Mocha into it, but we should get the three of us together for co-op play sometime this weekend.
Yeah,
too,
that would be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun for sure.
On stream, recorded, whatever. That'd be really fun. Okay. Besides that, for some fun engagement, go ahead and post in the comment section below if you are avoiding this episode, we'll come back to it we talked about. I almost said my normal time after we go forth and conquer. No, the press start to get mine out. And now we're gonna give a nice 10-second reprise for spoiler time, starting now. All right, y'all.
If you don't want to hear spoilers, chuck your phone at the wall right now.
Just chuck your get out. This is spoiler territory. We're going into
There's
it.
so much. There's so much.
Oh my gosh. I've been trying to keep up with the spoiler chats that we have going on and the several Discords.
There's actually too much. Yeah,
There's so much.
We're completely winging this also. Do y'all have somewhere you want to start?
Absolutely not. Let's just talk about what sounds fun.
Okay, well, why don't we start with the starters?
Starters are good.
Okay. I don't care what you say. Boy Coco fans won.
I think you're right. I think the what is that, Skeledirge?
Skeledirge.
So
yes.
Yeah, so let's start like just going over what we got the final evolutions of the starters with their base stats and movesets and everything.
Yep.
So we want to go through. Do we each want to take one?
Yeah, that's fine.
You've been on that Sprigatito train forever. You want to take?
Oh
take
yeah,
Cap?
I'll start. So Sprigatito gets Protean as its hidden ability, which I think has kind of been floating around out there.
Which is notably getting nerfed.
It is.
Yes, that's interesting. I'm not a fan.
It's
of
an
it.
odd kind of nerf because
it'll only switch your type the first time it triggers.
it's on the battlefield.
Yeah, it can only trigger once per timeout.
Yeah, you can swap it out, send it back out, and you'll be able to swap it again. So it's a strange nerf to it.
So it's only one time per it coming out?
Yeah,
yes.
And we also don't know how it interacts with Terra either.
That's what I'm the most interested in.
So two things on that.
Yeah.
Right? So there's one, how does it interact with the Super Terra? Like, if I choose, like, I don't know, if I choose Electric as my Terra type, and then I have its Sprigatito's form as Meowscarada. If Meowscarada does an Electric move, then, like, its Protean changes it to Electric. Does it get the 2 times boost or just the 1.5 times boost? That's one thing. The other thing is, does it change away from its Terra type?
So my theory,
because it's Protean.
My theory is that it'll be. Remember how I talked about it yesterday? Not yesterday, last episode. That you are still the type of Pokemon you are in the terrestrialized like armor, right? Whatever, like
right.
The layer.
So if that keeps up, then they wouldn't actually change their defensive typing.
I think defensive typing stays the same. So you are still in the Terra crystals of whatever your Terra type is, and then the Pokemon underneath changes type. So then that could change the stab stuff. That's my theory.
I actually kind of like that. Yeah.
Then it still matches everything else.
So you would keep your Terra type, but you get the super stab.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my theory. We'll see if I'm right in a couple weeks.
That feels intuitive. Yeah.
I guess a day when you listen to this, whatever.
Sorry, I jumped in because that Protean
you're good.
nerf was absolutely something.
But yeah, you went ahead and said it too. Meowscarada is our final evolution for it. It's I guess a jester themed. Is that the theme of it?
Yeah,
magician.
Yeah.
Magician, yeah. But it's a grass dark type, which is interesting.
Actually, that's like, I'm not sure how good that is defensively. Grass is just kind of a bad type defensively, but like that's a pretty cool combo. Just anything getting dark is always nice.
And what else is dark? Shift Tree is a grass dark, but it's just bad. But it's stats. That's stats problem.
Yep.
But stats on this thing is kind of interesting. So we got 76 HP, 110 attack, 70 defense, 81 special attack, 70 special defense, and 123 speed.
There it is.
So it's an interesting Spread
So we
there.
have a faster Grass Cinderace.
And it has what's its signature move called?
Flower Trick.
Flower Trick. So it always crits. So it's an Urshifu,
It's literally
the
Grass
Wicked
Wicked Blow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
70 base
actually,
power.
as it turns out, Wicked Blow has been nerfed. They found in the game data too.
Oh, really?
So
I
it
was gonna
is
say,
literally.
is
So it's
Urshifu in
now
this
game?
literally. It's in the game data. It's not acquirable. Maybe not even with home. There's a lot of mons that are like supposedly not acquirable, but their data's there.
I just saw they had the items to evolve Cubfu in the game.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. So that might be DLC later then.
They'll definitely come back. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, they're coming back. I'm just curious, like when, right? That's my thing.
Yes, let's
So-
give Urshifu a super stab, wicked blow. Can't do
yes.
anything to stop it. Like what?
Go
It
through
gets
protect,
it gets
yeah.
sword stance now. It gets sword stance now.
That's gonna be.
Oh,
its,
no.
It does it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's gonna be GS Cup.
yeah.
It's not. It's non-restricted. It'll be.
Yeah.
No, that's
No,
like
hopefully-
timing
hopefully
wise.
they'll
That's
do,
gonna
like-
be available via
Okay.
DLC.
Yeah.
Probably.
But yeah. So it gets some interesting things. I think I saw it gets Trick Room too. Meowscarada does.
As a magician, makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it gets some interesting. It's got decent coverage. I'd have to go through it and all look. It'll be a lot easier when all this is on Showdown, and it's a lot easier to look through it all.
Yeah. I
I'm looking
love
forward
that.
to that.
But the 123 speed though, that thing's
fast.
quick.
123 speed, 110 attack, like that's pretty strong. I think that's like right at the point where you get like legitimate sweeper level is 110.
Yep.
And then
And they kept
the
its
fact that it has
special attack
Protean-
low. They
Yeah.
kept its special attack low which is good.
It's
Just
kind
for
of yeah,
your
which
optimized.
and it's kind of interesting that a magician would be physical, but yeah, like
I
that
was
110
thinking that
attack, the Protean means that like it's that with Terra is going to be kind of a monster, and the fact that it's just throwing out critical hits. So it's I think
Yeah.
that flower trick is base 70, so effectively you're just looking at like a +1's worth of damage, right? So
Yep.
you're throwing out an over base 100 move that never misses, effectively over base 100 move.
And basically ignores
And-
your defensive boost or anything like that.
Exactly. No iron defense, that doesn't matter. Like it, I think it's the best starter.
I think.
By a
Yeah.
wide margin.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it is gonna probably have the most usage in like competitive for sure.
Yeah, at least right off the bat, right? Like, it's the
I
most
think the other ones
obviously
have
useful.
some tools, but
Yeah.
they need a lot more going for them. Like this thing, you can kind of stick it in and probably do all right with it.
Okay. Yeah. So speaking of the others,
Fway Coco.
yeah, Harris, you've been the. I honestly haven't been like huge on any of them. You seem like a Gator guy. You want to take that one?
I love Fway Coco so much. Okay. There's a cute,
Croc.
adorable crocodile. Ends up being we said already Skeledirge, whatever.
Yep.
I don't care what you say. The best part about this Pokemon is that it does have a little flaming bird friend.
Yes,
Um,
that is the best thing.
Yes. Fire ghost type. It does get blaze and unaware, which is interesting. 104 HP, 75 attack, 100 defense, 110 special attack, 76 special defense, 66 speed. Boo. And then for a total of 531 base stat total, which is 1 point higher than the other two starters, and I will take that as a win.
It's interesting.
for,
Yeah.
for Fway Coco. I don't know. I think it's cool. It's a neat design. It's not at all what I expected. Actually, none of these finals are what I would have expected from the months we've known about
Yeah.
the first forms. I'm not too upset though. I think Skeledirge is great, and I will continue to stand him. He's gonna be useful in Trick Room with that slow speed. I think that's my theory there. And a special attacker, cool. I actually don't know any of its moves. Does it get anything cool?
Yeah.
Its
So
special move, its signatures pretty. They all have actually, I think, pretty good signature moves.
mhm. It's a base 80, I want to say, and boosts their
something like
special
that.
attack.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it boosts your special attack. So
Okay.
Which like that's a very respectable stab move. Like people
Yeah.
are using base 80 moves all the time. If it has 100% accuracy, great.
Yep.
And then just a free +1 at the end. Like power up punch used to be used, I want to say, and that was base 50. Like
yeah.
so this is pretty good. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Like this is 100% meant to be a Trick Room Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
66 speed is about as fast as you are allowed to be like a a reasonable Trick Room Sweeper in my
That's what I
opinion.
was
And then like
exactly
it's
thinking.
got decent bulk, a little low on the special defense side. That's fine. You can give it AV if you really want. And
Got
then
good
like,
HP though.
Yeah,
yeah,
104
exactly.
HP, pretty good. I mean, 100 defense. Like it has okay stats, and I agree. This is definitely be a Trick Room on.
Yeah, and 75 is not like too much to waste in the like physical attack stat it's not using either. So like you were saying
Right.
before, Cap, like this is like well optimized to some degree. Like they're doing better about designing these starters to not be useless now.
Yep.
But the
Yeah.
ability, I feel like that's where it falls short.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
unaware
so-
is
It's not the
Lackluster.
worst either though, right? Because like it's bulky and it ignores your opponent's stat boosts.
Yeah.
So I can think of a lot of scenarios where this would be quite good. Like this thing is just
That's
hard
fair.
counterization. It
That's
does not
fair.
care. It will straight up hard counterization. I think the biggest problem for Skeledirge is that we know that Torkoal's in the decks and it is directly competing with Torkoal as a special fire Trick Room Sweeper.
Yep.
that's fair. That's very true. That's very
But you know,
true.
it has its own strength. So I think you could slot it in for sure. Yeah. So the other one is my least favorite starter. I hate this thing's design so much.
Wow, we kind of
so
screwed you over with that
much.
one, didn't we?
Yeah. So Quaxley turns into Quaquavel.
Quaquavel.
Yeah, water fighting. It's like I don't know what kind of. I've been looking online. Apparently, it's supposed to be inspired by like a kind of dance they do
It's
in
not
the
flamenco, but
in the Canary Islands specifically,
Yeah,
because like Spain, so it's not necessarily supposed to be Latin American, but yeah, it's I don't know if y'all have seen the animations in game for it. It goes at it. It dances
It is.
aggressively at all
Yeah.
times.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Which is cute. But so this thing is water fighting. Stat spread is 85 HP, 120 attack, 80 defense, 85 special attack, 75 special defense, and 85 speed. And it gets Moxie as its hidden ability. And then I believe its signature move is similar to Skeledirge's, like physical base 80 water move, but it boosts speed instead
Yep.
of an attacking
Oh,
stat.
interesting.
So I actually,
This really is just
I-
water type Blaziken.
it's water type. I mean, it's a different Gyarados in my opinion. Sorry.
Ah,
So
that's actually
like,
fair.
and I think it's better Gyarados. So I was saying, I think Meowscarada is like the most obviously good mon. Like it's the one that people are going to be able to make use of immediately. I think Quaquavel will actually end up coming into its own very well. Because think about like base 120 attack, pretty good.
That's pretty
Base
good.
85 speed is not good enough to be a sweeper by itself, but the fact that it's going
But
to
if you can
plus
give
one
yourself a
itself
plus
every
one-
move.
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you can then pick up KOs, you're getting speed boosts and attack boosts at the same time on top of your base 120 attack. This thing can
could
just steamroll out of control very quickly. Exactly. Yeah. So
And we have a ton of redirection in this, in this format, in this decks. We have a ton of it.
yeah, you can just put Indeedee next to it, which is also confirmed in the game. No fake outs. Force them to kill your Indeedee while you just stack up these boosts, and then what are you gonna do about it?
That's a fair
And
point.
then you can throw in something that we'll get to here in a little bit. You can throw in old Unga Bungus there, and you got a problem.
We can get in. We can get into what in God's name Ungabungus is after this. But yeah, as much as I hate Quaquavel's design, I actually think it will be a legitimate force, and I think there's a chance that it eclipses Meowscarada at some point.
Yeah, looking at these, it is interesting to. I think I agree with our analysis here. Meowscarada will be quickly used competitively. Quaquavel will at some point, I think you said, kind of usurp it or at least get it come into its own. And then I think Skeledirge will be either relegated to just Trick Room teams or not used. At least not as much.
I think you hit a good point though that I didn't even think about though, because it does hard counter Zacian. So when those formats roll around,
Yeah.
it can have a legit
Yeah.
spot on a team.
We was gonna say we did find out that Zacian's been nerfed. Both its
Yes.
ability has a similar thing to
And its
Protean's
stats.
nerf. Yeah, so its ability only triggers upon coming out like the first time. It'll never trigger
Once per
again.
battle.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then its attack got dropped by 20 points, so it no longer
Yep.
has that insane 170 base attack.
Still
It has
has a
150.
150, but
Which, by the way, 150 is
Wow.
very good. 150 is what the other restricted legendaries have. It's what
yeah.
Groudon and Kyogre have,
I didn't
for
realize it was a
reference.
20.
It's still very, very good. It just got more than that and a +1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went from a 720 base total to a 700 base, like
which is still very, very, very
insane.
good. Yeah, exactly. So it just became a real Pokemon and not a joke that you should have never left behind, right?
That's
Yeah.
fair.
So yeah, I think that when it comes back, it's going to be much more dependent on its Intrepid Sword than it used to be. And Skeletor's, you're totally right. We'll just completely dumpster it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't get anything that touches it, unless they gave it some new moves I haven't seen yet or something.
You know what? They did actually. I'm sorry, I take it back. Skeletor's won't do anything. It got, and I'm forgetting the name now. I can probably look it up actually. It got access to a new move, which I believe is effectively ground close combat.
Oh, they gave it that.
Trailblaze.
Oh.
It base 120, base power 120 ground attack.
What?
Oh, yeah. Okay, good for them.
Well, okay. Goodbye, Skeletor. That's
Thanks.
it.
And actually, so
Thanks,
Torkoal
guys.
will actually be better because it has that insane base defense. It might actually live the hit.
Well.
Yeah, because that's yeah. 100's not no. Okay.
I mean, don't choose your playthrough starter based on what their competitive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Viability
And
is
that
gonna
you
be,
shouldn't
by the
do
way,
anything through a playthrough based on competitive because it's a completely different animal anyway.
Correct. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the starters.
So
what other
we
fun
mentioned
things?
Unga Bungus. Do we want to go straight to the Paradox Mons?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I
love-
I do.
I love these things.
Do we have confirmation leaks of oh my gosh, my brain just stopped. Of are they actually called Paradox?
We don't know yet. I don't.
We don't
think.
know. I don't think we know the actual term.
Terminology.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they already kind of teased this in
We
the
got the
official
first
releases.
two.
Yeah, they showed Donphan. They showed
Great Tusk and Iron Treads.
Yeah,
Which is
another
their
thing about
actual
these
names.
guys. Yeah, they're all named in that weird
I legit
adjective noun.
Yeah, I legit thought that was just like, hey, it's like the Great Tusk Pokemon, right? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know
It's
that
like a
was its
Dex
name.
entry. It's like a Dex
Yeah.
entry is the name. I
I don't know how I feel about that.
just have some hope maybe that it's tied into the story why they're called that.
Probably.
So I'm so that's one thing I've gotten from the leaks. I haven't looked too much at the story stuff. The one thing I've gotten is that it's one of the better like in-game stories.
I have.
Yeah.
Yes, I did hear
Like
that.
they said,
That's
it's like
actually-
legitimately the best one, and that's when you start running into these things, and also we'll see then.
So Centro specifically doesn't do story leaks, but they were saying that
Yeah.
like it was interesting. It was I guess not necessarily interesting. It was just like funny that Paradox Mons were one of the first things leaked because they're apparently like very core part of the story. Like if you
Yeah.
reveal the lore behind them, you just spoil the entire story. So that's got me like pretty interested. I want to see what they do with it.
I'm very
I'm
excited.
sorry, I don't think Pokemon will ever have a good story, but like maybe they'll get closer this time.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll get closer. Yeah, hopefully.
So yeah, I mean, so as a concept, these Paradox Mons are basically there's a future or past version of them in
Yes.
Scarlet or Violet, respectively, all the way around. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
was gonna say I think it is. Yeah.
yeah, Violet
all
has the
ha-
futures and Scarlet has the pasts.
and they all have 570 base total, except for one in each that are 590.
Yes.
Which ones are 590?
Salamence and the
Mischievous.
Galadivore.
No, yeah, you're right.
Nice. That's exciting. Iron Valiant, which
Iron,
looks
yeah,
dope.
Iron Valiant and Roaring Moon, which is kind of a cool name for it. Like,
Yeah.
They're all
I am getting Scarlet mainly because of Roaring Moon. Not gonna lie. Pretty excited.
yeah,
for that.
it looks like ancient Mega Salamence is
Yeah. Which is
basically.
interesting because it does have 10 points less than normal Salamence.
But but if you look at their spreads,
Yeah.
like so this is the thing that they did with it. They went the Ultra Beast route. Is so regular Salamence has a 110 special attack. Roaring Moon has 55. So it's like usable stats are way better, and it has 9 more speed and more attack and more because so they just made it
The
a
stats that
competitive
matter
spread.
and more HP. Like the only thing that it's actually suffering that's
Like it's got
relevant
10.
is
It's got
defense.
10 less than Salamence, but it's also almost like Mega Salamence level of stat
that makes
distribution.
sense. I'm not upset about the spread. I just thought it was interesting that they lowered the total and spread it out better.
So we have a few pseudos like that, so Salamence, Tyranitar, they all basically lose stats. But they did a good job on where you're losing the stats.
Yeah, no, it's just a better competitive design mod. It's more optimized. And was I gonna say? So one more thing before we get into all the specific ones. Like the other thing that these things have in common is their abilities. So all of the Scarlet ancient ones get Protosynthesis, and all of the Violet future ones get Cork Drive. Which
weird.
just means, so they each get, they respectively get a boost to their base stats, not like a stage boost, but like a base stat boost when they're in the sun or electric terrain for each, right? And the legendaries, the restricted legendaries, will both have drought and electric terrain with a special name, but it's just drought.
Cool.
It's just drought.
But
and
their
electric terrain.
abilities, like they are good abilities. Like they're super good abilities. So like you were saying, it's almost beast boost, but it's not you don't raise it with a KO. So like the
it's just passive,
photosynthesis,
you have it immediately. Right?
you have it right away. So it's almost like solar power, but for all whatever is your highest stat. So when the sun's up, your highest stat. So if that's defense, attack, special attack, speed, or whatever, like the Ultra Beast is what is raised in your corresponding either sun or the future ones are electric terrain, which is also, I think, a pretty interesting thing that they gave some weather and the other is terrain.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have this weird, like, what is your thing to do? Are you focusing on terrain or are you focusing on weather? Because
it's very random, right? And it's also going to make Groudon like very relevant later too, whenever it comes around.
And whatever's
and speaking of that too, though, the legendary for Koraidon, like its ability, that is a good ability. It's because it's drought, but strictly better drought.
Because it gets a stat boost as well, right?
Yeah, it gets an attack boost in the sun.
So the other
and it's a physical attacker. Like
I do want to throw out one more thing though for both Protosynthesis and Cork Drive. If the Pokemon is holding booster energy, which I'm guessing is a new item, it also
it's a new item.
It also gets boost.
Yeah, so it's not completely useless. So you can use
have a
that
rain
item.
team that still benefits from something that has Protosynthesis.
Yeah, but I mean, I do want to say like it does clearly favor the Scarlet Mons. Like Drought is so much more accessible and useful than electric terrain.
What's better? Because to set Drought we have Torkoal. To set electric terrain,
amazing. We have Pincurchin. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's
so.
Or hear me out. You can just Dynamax, and then you can use an electric move or a fire move.
Too soon.
Duh.
Too soon. Still morning.
All right.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So it is interesting. I don't. You're right. That item does save it for some of them, and like an item that boosts your best stat is not the worst thing in the world either, right? Like,
just a constant 1.5 boost. Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think it's the equivalent of a +1, is it?
Yeah.
I was under the impression it was just a base stat boost.
I don't know exactly the boost. I know it's going to be a percentage base, like.
Well, to be fair, the thing that we're all looking at, the spreadsheet we have is boost is times 1.5.
Oh, does it say that?
Yes.
Actually, okay.
Yeah. Yep. I see that.
Wow. Okay. Then that's actually huge. Okay. I must be. I was thinking of the auras and not that.
That's what I've always tried to look at is like like a solar power. It's just the boost you get, which that's a big boost because you could run that in sun
It's massive.
with a life orb.
It's
like
it's Intrepid Sword. It's Zacian's ability, but not
with
not
weather.
nerfed.
And like especially before restrictions, like do we even have a rain setter? I don't even know what we have in this.
If we don't have a rain setter, I will be sad, but I will fully switch to sun teams, and I will not be that upset by it.
Do we not get Pelipper or something?
And I say that also. I mean, we got Tyranitar, which is actually, I feel like, going to be super good too. So that's your other.
Can we talk about Snowstorm?
Oh.
I don't know.
Can we? Okay. Do you want to do snow or do you want to do the rest of the Paradox mons?
Oh yeah, sorry. We can finish up Paradox Month. I forgot. We
There's
just said
too
weather
much.
so many
There's
times.
too much.
Yeah,
There's
that's
too much
totally
to
fair.
go on.
If y'all are still with us for this episode,
okay,
this might be the longest episode we ever have. Anyway,
This could go on until the release.
Choose your favorite one. Let's just do one each, like with the starters.
okay. Let me find that sheet again. Sheldon, you go.
Oh, it's Unga Bungus.
Yeah.
That is-
Yes, okay, fair enough.
So its technical name is Brute Bonnet.
It sounds. So
It is
technical.
the past version of Among Us. But
This thing is
let's
gonna
look at
break
these
the game.
stats.
This is the most.
Yeah, this thing is stupid. It's a grass and dark too. So your pranks are
No
taunts.
prankster taunts. Yes.
Oh, but let's even get to this first. Let's just start with looking at the stats. It's got 111 HP, 127 attack for an Among Us for some reason, 99 defense, 79 special attack, 99 special defense, and 55 speed.
So this thing is
also
faster and bulkier, and
the speed
has more attack.
but it's still super good for trick room. 55 is perfectly fine for a trick room mod.
Yeah.
It is bulkier Among Us with
Bulkier.
a base 127 attack stat, and it confirmed still gets Spore and Rage Powder.
It has its move pool
Oh.
plus Sucker Punch.
Wow.
Like
you
this
can
thing is
Terra Dark
insane.
and Sucker Punch things and just be an utter monster.
It can be your
like,
it can be your sweeper. Like you could not run Rage Powder and Spore on it, but yet you still can, and you can't prankster taunt this thing like you can Among Us.
And you can't
You
sleep
can have
powder it or
this-
spore it either. You can't. do
You can
anything
have
with
this
it.
beside an Among Us on the field and smack things and put things to sleep with the other one. Like
Oh wow, that'd be so rude.
now, that's one thing I haven't seen confirmed is if they don't count as the same family.
They're
So we
different
could
dex
run. You can
numbers.
run both.
You
So
can
I
have
can
both.
run two. I can run two Among Uses now. That's amazing.
which also because Among Us is going to be or this thing will be so like vital to the metagame.
Yeah.
It is also immune to its own Rage Powder.
Yep.
Which is massive. Like that
And
thing
it's
is
also
going
like,
to
can you
be on
imagine
every
swapping?
team.
Can you imagine swapping this thing into like you're targeting my Among Us with a psychic move, but no, I'm swapping in Brute Bonnet. Nope, doesn't no damage
Yeah.
for you today.
And
Oh, go on.
sorry. Okay. Well, the photosynthesis, this
Yep.
thing, the ability we just talked about, this thing wants to be in the sun. Guess who sets the sun? Torkoal. Guess what? Torkoal's on Trick Room teams.
Yep.
Yep.
You just have Indeedee, Hat, Torkoal, Lilligant, and this thing.
Sunroom
And you just
is gonna be
give it
huge.
+1 to one of the defenses like in the sun like
or
One of the defenses, or its attack, or
That's huge.
its attack.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
imagine like Hatterene plus Among Us with this attack like on the field, and Trick Room's up, and you're just
What
dead.
do you do? Yeah.
yeah. Also, I think this is top 3 designs for me. Like, I actually love the way that this thing looks.
Oh, did you see the Dex entry thing?
No.
I said whenever I think I shared it when I first saw it. I was like, this is literally like VGC players like nightmares. Like that's how I see Among Us in my night. Like, cause it's like mouth opens and it has like fangs and
Does
stuff.
it really?
Like
This
Oh,
art
it
that I'm
does.
looking at here doesn't have it. Oh, I want it so
the Dex entry does. Did you see it?
I am getting Violet still, but this thing almost convinced me to get the version I didn't
bad.
want.
It's okay.
just-
We can trade.
yeah, you can catch multiple of these things, so I
Yep.
will be harassing you guys for one.
That's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. Are you getting Are you getting both? I know you're getting both. Which one are you playing?
I will get both eventually. I'll play Violet first, yeah.
Sheldon.
I'm getting both, and I'm
Yeah.
probably going to be playing them both at the same time. Here, I'm just sharing the Among Us in the chat there,
perfect.
so you can
Oh,
see that.
That's terrifying in the best
It is.
way.
Like I said, that's how like I feel like VGC players see Among Us anyway.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's great.
Horrible.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the ones that I was excited about. I don't know how it's gonna play. Is really both of Volcarona's forms because it gets one for each. But Iron
Mhm.
Moth is just, it looks cool.
It does.
It does.
Base 140 special attacks.
Yeah.
No joke.
Some
and
of these
110
designs
speed's
are
not,
great.
not bad either.
Yeah, and 110 special defense. Like it's a special wall with.
It's frail though in physicals.
Yeah.
60 and then 80 HP is passable.
But it's also lost that quad rock weakness, which isn't terrible either.
yes.
But you
Both of
get
them
a
do.
quad ground weakness now.
Oh, you do.
Which,
You're right.
which is going to be a common theme
Yep.
amongst
Yeah.
some of this stuff. Is there's a lot of ground
what-
weaknesses in this gen. I feel
That's
like
what
everywhere I look.
types for. It's fine.
Well, that's why they've
That's
given
that's true.
Zacian ground close combat to get it ready to dominate
Yep.
this meta game, even after being nerfed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of them. I want to see what the community comes up with for both these Volcaronas, because Volcarona is just a fun mon. It's one of my favorites. Period. And the fact that it has both Slither Wing and Iron Moth. I hate those names. I don't hate those names. I think they're weird, and I'm excited to see them in story, but it's funny.
I think Mecha Mothra is like one of the coolest looking things though that they make. Like that,
Yes.
I'll give that to the Violet paradoxes. Like they actually look really good. Like they did a good job designing those. I feel like.
They look
agree.
better, but the Scarlet Mons are better.
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
problem.
that's yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
like
Their
the looks
designs
of
are better.
I like how they both look, but I am a little upset that like every future mon is just a robot.
Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
I wish
They
they
are-
could have done something.
They are just all robot. Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
just robo whatever.
Yeah. All right, that's mine. I mean, we said Iron Moth has cool special stuff. We'll see how it
Okay.
plays.
So for mine, okay, for the like the super one for Violet is supposed to be the like Gardevoir Gallade fusion,
Does look
but
cool.
it
Yeah,
is it looks really cool, but unfortunately it's a mixed attacker, which I don't love, like 130 attack and 120 special attack. So like at
Why?
116 speed is still good, but it's so frail as a result of that. So I think what the one I actually like the most, oh, I'm torn. I'm gonna cheat. Okay. I'm choosing two. You chose two as well. So
Kind of.
Fluttermane. Fluttermane is the mischievous one. It has 135 special attack and 135 speed. 135 special defense too, but I don't care about that. It is just a sweeping monster.
Whoa.
And it's ghost fairy type.
Okay, but also
So
a
that's
stiff breeze will kill that thing though.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, at least on the physical side, yes, absolutely. But I don't care because it won't ever encounter a swift breeze because it'll murder all the things that make breezes, like
That's true.
very quickly. Ghost Fairy is fantastic, like offensive coverage, and then you can Terra to get another one if you need it. Like that's gonna be really big. Sun, it doesn't have quite the same synergy as Brute Bonnet for like being on Trick Room teams and stuff, but like that's
Until
still
you
fine. Like
give
having a fast mode on your Trick Room team isn't the worst either.
You can
and
also
you have an item for it.
There's an item. That's a good point. You can just give the item. You can also Terra Fire this thing and put it in the sun, and then hey, there you go. Give it
Oh
some,
yeah, fair
something.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So there's that one, and the other one I really like is Iron Hands. The
So you just picked
fighting
three,
elect-
so you're really cheating.
No,
Go on.
I chose one. Oh no, I talked about the Gardevoir. I don't like the
I'm just
I don't
kidding.
like the Gardevoir one. Sorry. The other one I actually like is Iron Hands. The electric Hariyama is a beast. Is 154 HP
Yeah,
and 140 attack and 108 defense and 50 speed. So amazing for Trick Room. Its only weakness is it has low special defense, which A is kind of remedied by
did
the fact
anyway.
that it already had it had lower special defense than that before. B, its HP is so high that it only kind of matters, and C, you can just put an AV on it. Like
Yeah. That thing will be a
one
beast.
154 HP is crazy.
it's huge. Yeah. So this thing is going to be bulky as hell. It doesn't get guts is the thing. So that is one thing to consider that that regular Hariyama has that it doesn't. But like I don't know. Guts is also like a strategy that you can play around, whereas this thing is just going to
And
smack
also
you really
you can
hard out
boost
the gate.
boost your attack with the ability too. So
Yeah.
like
yeah.
it
That
doesn't matter. You get the same boost.
the paradox abilities are gonna be very interesting. Like the just what's gonna come out of that in team building is gonna be wild. Like
And-
this, we said it before with just when when Terrestrialization was announced, but like team building in this gen is gonna be absolute nuts.
Yes.
It's gonna be definitely a skill to learn too, like how to like plan around your Terra.
Man, I have to get better at it.
But yeah, I think fighting electric is like a surprisingly good offensive combination as well. Like
Sure, yeah.
fighting is great coverage. Like electric is if you
still
can throw
didn't
like ice
boost
punch on
while
there and you get that
charged.
bolt beam. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, true.
Yeah, that is the big problem is that there's
That's
no
your
good
main stat
physical
for all
electric
these
attacks,
is wild
yeah.
charge.
So you may want to Terra Blast that, but
Yeah, I think I don't know. There's
And I kind of want to throw this one since you said the mischievous one is the Delibird. That thing is crazy. That thing is it's another 136 speed.
yeah,
fast.
136 speed Delibird is fantastic.
Iron bundle and the whole like the whole design is great
Oh,
too. I mean,
there's
it's
a
literally
weekly
just a
losing of Sheldon.
robot.
That's okay. I'm sure he's saying
no.
something super cool right now.
I am.
It'll still be in the
Oh,
recording.
man.
I say this every time.
Yep. Why do I keep dropping? There we go. Am I back?
Yeah, you are.
I see movement.
I don't know. I wish we knew. Yes, you're back.
Okay.
What were you saying about Iron Bundle? Say it again for us in the back.
No, I was saying the design is great. Like the
gotta be
whole
kidding me.
it's
gotta be kidding me.
animation.
It's a good face to be stuck with, though,
Really
right
is.
there.
Wow. Sheldon, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Thanks for the compliment, guys.
There we go. Its design is cool. We did get that across.
Apparently, Daddy Nintendo does not want me to talk about it, so we're just gonna move on.
Or whoever your ISP is. Okay. Yes. Iron Bundle. I want to see how all these things are used, just in general.
Extremely fast and reasonably strong. Yeah, like there will be some use there.
Yeah.
Yeah. 136 speed is gonna be good.
Actually, and even with a decent defense.
There's a lot of fast things in this meta, though. It's gonna be a fast meta right out the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
And
slow.
ice is
with
going to get better.
Sunroom. Ice is
Partially
gonna get
because Terra is amazing like synergy with ice, just purely in that it's like you're a bad defensive type and a good offensive type, trying to make that only positive.
better. Yep.
But also because of what you were hinting at earlier, like with the snowstorm.
So I'm upset because we just we just did some of our back to basics and we talked about weather and now they're changing weather when it was supposed to be a pretty standard thing. I'm actually not that upset. I think snowstorm's gonna be fine if it keeps the like blizzard benefit and whatnot. But
So, yeah,
took out hail, right?
And we lose the residual. There's no more chip
There's no
damage.
chip
See, that's
damage.
weird. That's the weird part.
Yeah, I don't see why.
I don't like that.
Why are they scared of hail? Like there is.
Unless someone thought through this, someone had the game design forethought to realize hail, like ice is gonna be powerful, hail's gonna be powerful. We have to take something away from them. Because I always liked the duality of sun and rain had their effects that matched each other, and then sand and hail sort of had their effects that matched each other, mainly in the chip damage. But then like sand had its defense for rock, but now snowstorm gets the special defense for ice. Is that what it is?
Other way around.
That's
Sandstorm
what I
is special
meant.
defense, and yeah, which is good because most ice types lack physical defense. That's great.
Yep. That's what it needed just all along. That's what it always should have been.
Yeah, it's just,
But
it's
it's
just
like
added
that's all.
that.
I feel like everyone is always like, what does hail teams need? And that's been like the thing. Sandstorm, you get the special defense boost. Hail, you get the defense boost. That would have been just perfect to even it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't see why they'd reduce the chip because just like you said, it was symmetry with Sandstorm. Is they're already getting the special defense boost, so I don't see why the defense boost should mean that we don't get residual on hail anymore. But it is what it is, I guess. I know for a fact that Aurora Veil will at least still work with snow. I haven't seen anything about the Blizzard accuracy, but I'd assume it stays as well. Because Blizzard has a lower base accuracy than the other like big
right.
base 120 elemental moves because of that hail interaction.
So hopefully it keeps that. We'll see.
Yeah.
They straight up removed hail, didn't they?
Yeah,
I don't think hail
it just now
exists.
is it just is snowstorm now.
Yeah. So hopefully then Yeah, so everything should, I would think, stay the same, but
We'll see.
who knows?
All right. What next? Oh,
So
I wanna
Yep.
talk about this thing real quick. Tinkaton, the fairy with a hammer. I just love how that line of Pokemon just hunts steel types and throws rocks at Corviknight, and that's like the lore reason why it's not the taxi service in Paldea. Like, my goodness, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that is
I love that.
probably the
Yeah.
only bit of like story
just-
that I want to talk about for this, like lore stuff. But like, I think that is so funny. That's it.
Yeah, Tinkaton's great.
That's I can't wait to
Yeah.
see
Well,
what
okay.
happens there.
Fairy Steel is
Tinkaton-
great typing.
Tinkaton, the design is great.
It's cute.
Not the competitive design.
So
Unfortunately.
its stats are bad.
It's a
there are
poor
Very
distribution.
bad. Oh god,
two
it's so
but
bad.
two things though. First thing is it gets its signature move, which is a base 160 attack. That the only drawback is you can't use it 2 turns in a row, but it's not like Hyper Beam where you like
You don't have to
don't
recharge.
get
You
to
don't have
attack
to
at all.
recharge.
Yeah, you just do a different move next turn.
Oh.
So that's really good. That almost makes up for its bad attack. The other thing, so one of the only things we haven't gotten leaked yet properly are items, but I read a rumor, which I guess I shouldn't circulate, but I'm going to because I'm irresponsible and I like to spread misinformation on the internet. There supposedly is a Marowak-esque item for it.
Interesting.
A thick club analog.
Now that would be
If that
big.
exists, that would be huge. Like I love that
needs it.
trade-off too. Is like make this Pokemon viable, but it doesn't get an item. Basically, like give it the Zacian treatment, but not non-restricted.
and then Marowak is the same way. Like
Yeah.
that's the only reason you don't run Marowak without its Bone Club because
Exactly.
it's
Not
just
good.
not good without it.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be another thing.
And
that's-
also it gets Fake Out.
Yeah. Fake out. Even if it doesn't get that item, fake out that
Is
signature
valuable.
move and its incredible typing, like arguably the best typing in the game. I think
Could
all
make
those
up
things
for
make it like it could have a niche for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But
That'll
yeah,
be a fun
just
one.
if all you have to work with is a base 75 attack, then that's
Rough.
Lacking.
that's
Yeah.
that's like it's a 2-hit KO on neutral hits mostly with a 160 base power move. Like you need a weakness policy to do things before.
Okay, there are 2 things I want to cover.
All right.
Y'all choose between the Dark Legendaries and the Dolphin.
Ooh.
I want to talk about the dolphin. The dolphin might
I
be.
love
Yeah, let's
I
do
love
the
Dolphin
dolphin
might be
then.
my
so
favorite
much.
Pokemon. Like it rose up there. As
It's
soon
glorious,
As I saw it.
yeah. I had a brief moment of what is this design, and then it took about 10 seconds for me to decide that I love this design.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's
Like
great.
in both competitively and visually, actually, it's pretty wonderful.
So good. All right.
Yeah,
So Finizen.
yeah, you want to take it?
Finizen is its first form. It has Water Veil. It has mediocre stats. It's first form. That's fine. And then when it evolves, it looks exactly the same, which I also think is great.
So it has a
Except
little
It has a
it
heart
little
on its chest,
It has a
its
heart.
chest. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be a Superman
Like,
analogy.
yeah,
like
yeah.
Yeah, that's yep.
I love this. And it also has middling stats.
although notably 100 HP and 100 speed, which is relevant
pretty
to
good.
its thing.
Yep, 100 HP, 100 speed, 70, 72, 53, 62 for attack through special defense. Okay, that's fine. And then its ability, which is neat, 0 to hero. So my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time you throw out Palafin into the match is going to be in its 0 form, which is it looks like Finizen with a heart. And then it does get flip turn, which is great.
It does. That it gets
Yeah.
it upon evolving, even like it's meant to
Yes.
use it.
Perfect. So it gets flip turn, comes back to you, throw it out again, and now this thing is a buff dolphin, which never thought I'd say
Jacked.
that word. But buff dolphin, gloves, I don't know, it looks jacked. It's wild.
Could I
and it gets
cosplay
off-
Palafin?
It's what?
Could I cosplay Palafin?
You could. You should.
Is it furry?
I mean,
It's a
dolphins
mammal.
aren't furry. I guess I do.
Anyway, so yeah, and it has like gloves.
It's a
made out of
superhero.
water. It's a superhero.
It puts on a superhero costume.
Yes, it puts on a superhero costume.
It's got a mask.
But it gets boost to all of its stats except speed and HP. It's still 100 of those, but it gets 160 attack, 97
Insane.
defense, 106 special attack, and an 87 special defense.
It has a 650 BST. That is, I think is that the same as Regigigas?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, Regigigas. Yeah, I think Slaking's
Yeah,
a little
that
bit
is
more,
a restricted level BST, and normally non-restricteds that get that kind of stats are they are gimped by something like Slaking or Regigigas.
Yep.
This thing's only condition is you got to swap it out once, and it even comes with a speedy move to do that.
Yep. So that's pretty great. So I actually don't know what its moveset is besides Flip Turn. But I'm imagine it's full of physical water moves.
If it gets liquidation, that's all it needs. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Terra Blast, liquidation.
Yeah, I was gonna say Terra
Flip
Blast.
Turn. I don't know.
Like you have a ton of options with a 160 attack and Terraform, so it can be whatever, and it can like if you take the time to set that up in your match, you have a sweeper right out the gate almost, right? Turn 3, you have something that is restricted level stats.
Yeah, and it's not even like you need to swap it out, but like it can just come in on a free switch in later, right? And like I think we won't know until we play with this thing, right? But I think they've really struck the balance of a gimmick that like you know what your opponent's doing when they send this thing out.
I was gonna say
if they don't flip turn it, they're hard switching it, right?
Yep.
Like it's not. It may have some support moves, but
you can't leave it out there.
But it's so frail that you wouldn't want to do that.
Yep.
So like, you know what they're doing with it, but it's hard to stop that thing from happening too, right? So like, you have to take advantage of it. You have to play like with the assumption that they're gonna do the thing that you assume they're gonna do for it, but like. It isn't just hard counter, like click the button and stop their strategy either. Like I think it's really going to strike that balance well. Like this is an example of good game design despite all of the crap I give Game Freak all the time. Yeah.
you have to know how to deal with it, right? You know it's coming, you know it's going to be there, but if you don't have an answer to it in the 4 you picked for your match, you're going to be screwed when this thing comes back out and just punches you once.
It's gonna have set play too. Like you can do all kinds of things with this thing, right? Like you could redirect away from it as it flip turns, and then like if you're fighting it, you could say either I'm gonna ignore that slot and kill its partner because I know it's swapping out, or you could say I know it's swapping out. I'm gonna try to make a big predict. Like that slot is now defenseless.
Yep.
I can just focus into the slot that I know is switching and just kill something on the switch. And like yes, they'll get a free switch into their Supermon, but I get a
but you
free
still
mon
knock
out
out a mon. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like.
And
there's going to be
good. And it's kind of weird to say, but it only has 100 speed. It might be kind of weird to say that,
which is the same kind of deal as Regigigas and Slacking. I think.
Yeah.
Well, like, these Supermons tend to have that.
It's got a little bit low, but it's a little bit lower. Like because we got some things that are a good bit faster than that in the meta. So
absolutely. And like it's not that bulky either, right? It's like 97 defense, 87 special defense, 100 HP. Like that bulky, is good bulk.
Not
that is acceptable. It's not a wall.
Yep. I agree. So to your point, how it's played, what's around it, what strategies come out for this thing will be telling for its its staying power in the VGC scene. I don't care. I didn't pick a water starter, so this thing's on my team for my playthrough.
Yeah, same. It's gonna be actually a kind of a pain to do in single player. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean also that's true. And then its evolution. Right, so the way it evolves from Finizen to Palafin, which I also need to throw out that Palafin is a great riff off Paladin. I love it. Like the name this Pokemon's great. And I will probably name my Palafin Allfin or Finmite or something for you My Hero fans out there. But you can only evolve it during co-op. It has to evolve. It has to level up past 38 with someone watching.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to have a Finn evolving session at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to have dolphin watching parties.
Dolphin watching parties. All right, that's fair. What was the other thing you said? I totally forgot.
I wanted to talk about the dark legendaries. Their names are kind of like I don't remember off the top of my head. They're
Almost
I think
Chinese
they're all
sounding names.
Chinese. Yeah,
Ting
so like,
Yu, Shen Pao, Hu Shen, and Chi Yu.
yeah.
I hope I said those right. Off the
These
cuff.
are just like the 4 sub legendaries, like your Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos kind of analog for this gen.
This is my first time seeing these. So tell me that.
They're all cool. So they're all dark type, but they each have a different secondary type.
Ground,
and
ice,
they all have
grass, and fire.
Yes, and they all have 570 BST. I think the most notable ones, like the most notable one period is probably the ice one. It's base 135 speed and 120 attack.
Yep.
They all have an ability, something of ruin, and that will lower the stat, like that will lower the base stat of all the other Pokemon in the field. I'm actually not sure if it's all the other Pokemon or just your opponents.
The power
it's
of
all.
the Pokemon's
It's all.
ruinous vessels lowers the special attack of all Pokemon except itself.
Yep.
Okay,
even
so your ally as well.
So
Yep.
special
So the
attack,
reason-
defense, special attack. No, sorry, oh my gosh. Each of the attacks and defenses. There we go. I can speak.
Yeah. So the reason I think the ice one is so good is that it has that amazing speed, it has a really good attack, and its ability is the one that lowers the physical defense of your
Oh, wow.
opponents. So you're super fast, and you're strong, and you lower their defenses, and you just sweep right through them. And Dark and Ice is going to be frail as hell. That is a four times weakness to fighting right off the bat. But
you can also get rid of that.
But it's A, you can get rid of that with Terra. B, it's an amazing combination offensively as
Offense.
well. So
It's super Weavile. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's going to be really big. But I mean, they all have good potential. Like the dark ground one looks like an amazing Trick Room attacker. 155 HP.
yeah, that thing's stout.
45 speed and 110.
125 defense too.
Yeah, that's pretty bulky.
The dark fire one is like 100 speed and 135 special attack. So like, and then like decent defense is 120 special defense but terrible HP. Like it is going to be like a decent sweeper. I think it's not going to be as relevant as the ice one. And then the
like
grass one is interesting in that it's just very bulky.
Yeah.
So it
depends
better
on its
have
move
good
pool.
support
I'd
options.
had to look at its move pool. Like if it was like Leech Seed and some other stuff maybe.
I think it's dead in the water because it shares a typing with Oonga Boongus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a fair point.
But the abilities
the ice and ground ones in particular, I think, are going to be huge.
I think the ability, the way to think about it, it's close to Fairy Aura or Dark Aura.
Yeah.
As it's just it's a debuff and not a stat drop. It's not like Intimidate. So it doesn't come in and lower your, so it's not going to proc Defiant or anything. It's just a static debuff to everything around it.
It's weaker than a stat drop like that, but it's great that we can do this granularly now. Is that because when you think like +1 or -1 is the lowest, is the smallest drop or buff you can do outside of really niche abilities like Iron Fist, but that's huge. That's a 50% boost. That makes such a big difference. Is the reason why Zacian was absurd, right?
Yep.
And the fact that they're like kind of playing with this mechanic now to do like direct modifications of base stats from an effect, like as long as we can get a handle on what that means mathematically, so we can start like kind of eyeballing damage rolls with this, I think that's gonna be really good.
It's still gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be a flat number, is it? It's still gonna be probably a certain percentage.
What I read was that it was I actually don't know. I know it's a direct modification of the base stat, but I don't know if that's done by a percentage or a flat number.
I would think, because I feel like everything else we do is by percentage.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So that's what I would assume. Like, so maybe it's like a 0.3 drop instead of a 0.5.
How do we not have that number yet? Isn't this whole game data mined?
Yeah, well, they don't.
A lot of this stuff
don't look at these things for us.
They've shown a lot of like the data that they've mined, and a lot of it is very opaque, which
I get very annoyed with. Like,
dude, you've been so aggressive on Twitter.
Here's the gym leader theme music. Like, I don't care. Like, give me numbers. Like, answer questions.
What I'm saying is that it's not necessarily the leaker's fault. Is that like some of this stuff is like you see the raw data that's in the game, and it's not just plain English. This is how this is how it works.
No,
right?
I know. I'm just. It's just funny.
There's plenty of this stuff where you'll see a number that references another place in memory, and it's like you have no idea. And
some of this stuff isn't data mined either. It's just they're reading the dex entry of the ability or whatever. You know, they're just reading and it's not an actual number.
Okay. What next? What else?
At this point, I think it's just like kind of random mons and stuff. We've hit the things I absolutely wanted to talk about, so it's all kind of bonus from here.
I agree with that.
You got Clodsire.
Clodsire is
That
cute,
was what
but
you-
unfortunately it looks really bad. So
Yeah.
that's oh well. It can be in my playthrough.
Yes.
What was it? There is a grass tentacruel.
I was
Toad,
looking at
Toad
those.
Scroll.
So at first I thought this was going to be amazing because it has base 100 speed and it also gets spore. Just like they're throwing all these spore users at us. We also get Breloom
But its
back,
ability.
but its ability is awful. It makes it go. I don't know if it goes last in the priority bracket or just
Yeah.
slower.
It
Is it
lowers
last
its
in the bracket?
it lowers priority. It lowers its priority.
Okay. So yeah, it lowers its priority for status moves. So I thought we were getting a base 100 speed spore. That's not the case. And
So
it's
it's,
relatively frail.
Yeah, that's weird. So it's a -1 spore.
-1 priority spore, yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
always go last. Which like, what is the point of it being fast then? The like drawback, or not drawback, the opposite of a drawback. Like the bonus you get for that drawback is that your status moves now ignore all abilities, but not
which is
typing. So
strange.
if it
Yeah.
could spore a grass type, but it went second, then I would say like that's really
Sure,
cool.
that makes sense.
But
Or if it
ignoring
went
abilities,
through items
like,
too, like safety goggles.
safety
Yeah.
goggles. That would be sick.
But yeah, just
And like
abilities.
maybe it's
like,
worded badly, but I think it is just abilities. So I can't think
Yep.
of, there aren't many abilities that
Overcoat.
prevent sleep. Yeah, you have overcoat and you
Insomnia.
have which is super rare and like you'd literally be more common from using the move that gives you insomnia. Like
yeah.
so it's just too niche of a case, I think, to make it worth it. But you know, like there might be a niche meta where it makes sense. Trying to think what else. We really have hit like the main things.
big thing.
Oh, we got a new item that's basically gives you clear body.
Oh, that's
think that was-
interesting.
Yeah,
that's gonna be
that's pretty
big.
big.
That one's gonna be big.
They're definitely giving some cool items for competitive.
There is a flying electric bird, obviously. Yeah,
I just saw that.
it has so Kilowattrel looked really interesting to me too. Super frail, but base 125 speed, 105 special attack, and it gets competitive. So that could be
Yeah.
really big.
Definitely cool.
Like an actually fast, powerful competitive user.
Well,
like that's great.
Here's an interesting thing. So that Kilowattrel also gets wind power, which
Which there are two new categories of moves now, right? Between
Wind.
cutting move.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's wind. It's I think it's wind moves and cutting moves are like the new
Yep.
categories.
What's
It's kind of like Iron Fist with punching moves. So that is like air slash or something. You know that.
Like
Tailwind
Blizzard is now a
is-
wind
is-
move as well. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Blizzard. I didn't even think about Blizzard for being one of them.
And then the slashing, would be I
Pulse
don't know,
Swipe.
Leaf Blade,
Yeah.
yeah,
Blade.
Sacred Sword.
So at the very least, those moves have interactions with. I know a bunch of Pokemon are like now retroactively getting this sharp ability that boosts cutting moves.
Like Gallade, got it.
Yeah. So
Sharpness.
that could be big. That could be useful for those, but I don't know if there's any like unique properties to those moves besides just we gave them this modifier so this ability affects them kind of thing. But wind power probably is like the equivalent of sharpness.
Right.
Oh, I was trying to look. I can't
Oh,
find
you
it
brought
on
up
the screen.
Tailwind. Tailwind is now a TM.
Yes,
Ooh,
Tailwind is a
which
TM now.
is really relevant because a bunch of Pokemon now get access to it. Also, Ally Switch is no longer a TM, so
That's
There's
very
that.
nice.
good things. Yeah,
Huzzah.
no more crazy distribution on that move. I think it'll be much healthier when only a few mons can use it.
How does?
But yeah, Tailwind's on like everything now. Like you can, that's going to be like distributed very widely, and it's going to be like your opponents are going to get random, really good speed control, and you're
Yeah.
not going to see it coming.
How does the Bisharp line not get sharpness?
That's a good question.
I mean, I
Oh,
understand.
that's a really good one. We didn't touch on the
King's-
Bisharp
King's
evolution.
Gambit.
King Gambit,
Yeah,
which is which
So-
is also a very good name. King Gambit.
great chess pun.
Yes. Defiant Supreme Overlord, which is a new ability. And then Pressure for its hidden. Supreme Overlord is cool because it gets a boost. It says slight boost to attack and special attack for each of its allies that have fallen in battle. Right, so
Yeah.
however
So
many
if it's the
fainted
last thing in
Pokemon-
battle, it's getting a boost for each one that fainted.
Yeah, which is cool.
Much more relevant for singles, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends how big that number is, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Although the I do kind of agree with the complaint going around online for that is that it is always sitting down
On
With
his
just-
hair.
on his hair.
His
which
hair, his hair
which-
makes a chair.
which
I
is
think it's great.
cool.
I think it's great. It's a throne. Like
Yeah.
he's a king.
I agree. The fact that his seat is his hair makes up for it. I mean, let's be real. He has a lot on his shoulders, so he needs to sit down.
That
So
that head.
for
that head
anybody who
was
hasn't
pretty heavy.
seen this leak, it has a gigantic sword mustache
And
hat
just straight
and
up-
sword hat.
It's
I love it.
someone compared it to Swordbert, whatever his name was in the DLC.
Oh gosh, yeah.
and I'm
it
like,
looks
I
just like
can't
it.
unsee it now, but I also totally
Yep.
agree.
It's what to say? It's a Shogun samurai kind of design
Yeah,
thing.
yes,
Like
yeah, he's
I,
got the
I
whole
actually I actually
Shogun.
like it a lot.
I love the design.
it's-
I also like that its like main attack animation is it nodding with the
Yeah, just hit you with the.
but
The
That's
stats
cool.
are amazing. Supreme Overlord is interesting, but I think Defiant is going to continue to be the go-to for it.
yeah,
This thing
For
is
VGC.
yeah, this thing is really bulky, very
Super
strong,
slow.
135 attack, and super slow, which just means it's amazing for trick room. But even if you don't even if you keep it like to counter other trick rooms, it still gets access to Sucker Punch. So
Yep.
like.
Yep.
It's gonna hit you
It's gonna
hard
do the
with stab,
Bisharp
sucker punch,
things.
potentially Defiant boosted, potentially Terra boosted.
yeah, it's pretty good. Like
Yeah,
it's,
and
it'll be a
even
fun
more
one.
than Bisharp things is bulky, unlike Bisharp, so it
Yep.
doesn't need to run Sash or whatever. Like it's
Yep.
just
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. That'll be on my playthrough team.
yeah, and it completely invalidates another new mon, the Ghost Primeape, which it looks
Right.
really cool. It has reasonably good stats, but I can't just it's just a worse Defiant user. I guess it like why does it get Inner Focus and Defiant? Inner Focus,
Right.
I guess you can't flinch, but it's Ghost type, so it doesn't care about that. Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Other things can flinch.
I think that was that was a carryover from Primeape, wasn't it?
Primeape gets Vital Spirit
no.
and Anger Point.
Oh, never
No,
mind.
they
not.
chose
Never
to give
mind.
this thing Inner
Okay,
Focus.
well,
I do
never mind.
like the name. Annihilate is a good name.
It is good, and the design is really cool.
The
Yeah.
design's not showing up on this spreadsheet, so I don't know why it didn't load right. I'm sure I'll see it eventually. But
Yeah,
yeah,
there's so many cool new things, and we'll be going over more. I feel like though, in coming episodes, because we're just gonna have a lot to go over.
Yeah, this is just everything we could get. Like I don't even know where we're gonna start with a lot of this. Like
I was thinking earlier this week of what are the next episodes going to be, and I panicked. there's gonna be both so much and so little to talk about.
I think we should like maybe even take a step back and talk about our playthroughs instead. Like this
I
is
think
like
so.
competitive is gonna like take time to shape up anyway. All this stuff
Yeah.
is super
Well,
cool
we
to
don't
theory
even have
craft
ranked
about.
ladder
But
until December,
yeah,
so 2
Yep.
weeks.
we won't have ranked ladder till December. Showdown needs time to pull all this stuff in accurately and make sure it's all working. Put animations on stuff. Like there's
They are pretty quick with it though. That's one thing I'll give Showdown. They're pretty quick
Yeah.
with
this is
new
a
stuff.
lot more though, right? Because you got to add
Yeah.
sprites for stuff. Like they don't even have to be good sprites. But you have to be able to differentiate what the mons are at
Yep.
least. Like
yeah.
Yep. All right.
yeah, we'll see on all that stuff.
If we stop right now with this episode, we still have not reached our longest time yet. I don't think.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, I start a new job tomorrow. I want to go to bed.
Yeah, same.
All right. I think that's cool. I agree. There's so much we can continue to talk about, but I think we've made up our minds in the last 35 seconds that the next couple of episodes will be about playthrough and general stuff and just whatever we've seen. Which I think
There is one
perfectly
thing.
fine. Ooh, one more thing. One more thing.
Are you bringing a
Wug.
Jackie Chan Adventures reference
Did I?
in
No.
the year of our Lord
No,
2022?
I did not. I did not just do that. Don't you? Yes, I did.
Wug Trio.
Wug Trio is
Is the
such a
real
good
name.
name.
Is
I
it-
just passed it on the list.
So,
I was
like,
It's
we
a joke. We were
We
saying
can't
that
go through an episode without.
we were saying that
talking
name jokingly
And
when we got
then-
Wiggly.
and then it is. And then it just
It
is.
is.
Oh,
It is. And it really is just there doing Wug Trio things. Like,
It's so
It's
good.
literally Water Doug Trio. It has like the same
It's
stats
the same
basically.
stats, yeah. Oh, this is so
Yeah.
good. So that's delightful.
yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Leave
like,
you with that.
there's a handful of really cool mon that we haven't talked about yet. Houndstone being one of them. I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
Oinkalone
Yeah.
neat just to see LeChonk's evolution.
And
the Dunn spoilers.
that'll be one of the things too. The Oinkalone thing is the sex differences, because there's a difference between the male and female.
Yes, actual stats.
But it's also not the one you're gonna think it is whenever you see them.
Yeah, I do like the dimorphism is
Like it's interesting that they went that route with it.
I think that's cool. Either way, there's a ton. We could keep talking, but I think we decided we are not going to.
All right, let's
wrap it up.
Yep.
Let's do it. All right, so hold on, I don't have my script up, and I'm gonna say that Rowan will make fun of me, even though he hasn't in a couple episodes. Anyway, so again, thank y'all for listening. For those of you who are still here, comment down below that you decided to forego spoilers, because I just want to know who you are, so we can I don't know, revel in the spoiler chat in our Discord. What version of the game you're getting, what starter you're picking, and I'm curious if you're listening to this to our podcast and you're not starting the game, within the first like 2 days of it coming out. Let us know if you're waiting, just for fun, right? Other fun engagement things. Oh, I should have said this earlier, but it's too late now. On Twitter, we have been doing at this point a bunch of polls to just try to garner some hype. So those results are just kind of fun to see. But check out our Twitter there, which I will say in a few moments. But first, since I've already said topics for next week, I'd now like to say thank you to RobKTA and Game Chops for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner, off the Ultraball album. I've been Harrison. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube under Ixen. And as always, I have been joined by
Rowan. You can find me on YouTube, Rowan Hall, Twitter, Rowan W Hall. I have almost finished editing my final Sword and Shield video for the last section of my Malamar games, and then it's going to be on to Scarlet and Violet content.
Oh yeah,
pretty hyped. And
this is Sheldon. You can find me on Twitter at Captain_Unova, and check out on Twitch, Captain Unova. Thursday, midnight. Friday, I guess.
It's Friday.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Yeah, we're gonna hold. We'll hold you to it. Yeah, we'll be there.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Maybe. And I'll say again.
I'm gonna hire people to go outside your house and blow air horns until you
please
on Twitch.
I'll also be.
Oh goodness!
Destroy my throat. Okay.
We killed him.
I also will be streaming sometime Friday this game. Scarlet, my playthrough
with everybody else.
Yeah,
the entire world is going to be streaming. I feel like at the same time here.
Yeah, everyone's going to be streaming this, so it's like you should watch all of us all at the same time. If you're not making content, you should be consuming all of it.
All of it, every bit.
But especially us.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have been the Game Corner. You can find us at Twitter at Game Corner VGC, where all those polls will be. If you want to go see those results of our little community that we're building there. Our Discord link is down below. You can find us on Spotify and YouTube, wherever you listen to us, of course. And until the games come out, press start and game on. Bye!
What do you guys feel about Wug Trio on?
On what?
For the logo, keep calm and not logo, slogan. Keep calm and Wug Trio on.
Keep calm and Wug Trio on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to bring in some boomer memes, but
Yeah, that's the hard part. I know we're old, but that doesn't mean our audience needs to be too. Uh,
Oh, daggers.